Ever feel like time just kind of slips away? Like all those amazing moments we have, they just disappear so fast.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Well, today we're going to dive into some really clever ways to kind of like hold on to those special
Oh,
times.
that sounds interesting.
Yeah, and we're getting our inspiration today from an episode of English Dose, which is a podcast all about learning English.
Okay.
Now, you might think, English learning? What's that got to do with memories? But trust me, their advice is pretty much universal when it comes to capturing those fleeting moments of life.
I'm curious to hear this.
So they start off by talking about this idea of a memory jar.
A memory jar.
Yeah. Have you ever tried this?
I've heard of it, but I haven't actually, given it a shot.
It's pretty simple, really. Like you just jot down good things that happen throughout the year, maybe little notes about happy experiences,
Mm-hmm.
and then you like toss those notes into a jar. I've actually tried this myself, and sometimes it's really amazing. Like at the end of the year, you open it up and you go through all those memories.
Yeah, I bet.
But I gotta admit, sometimes those little notes just don't quite bring back the full feeling.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like it's a nice little reminder, but it doesn't really transport you back. What's your take on how effective these memory jars are?
Well, I think they're a great starting point. It gets people thinking about those positive moments and trying to capture them. But if you really want to create strong links to those memories, research actually points to journaling.
Oh, okay.
Because when you journal, you're not just writing a few words, you're fleshing out the details, the emotions, everything.
That makes sense.
It's kind of like, think about the difference between a quick snapshot and a detailed story.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
One gives you a glimpse, the other really immerses you.
So maybe the jar is more for like a quick mood boost,
Exactly.
whereas a journal can actually add some depth to those memories.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
The episode also talks about photography, but not just like snapping any old picture.
Right.
They say it's more about capturing the essence of a moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but this should.
Like instead of that typical posed family photo,
Yeah.
it's maybe that candid shot of like your grandma, amazing laugh.
Oh.
The one that really takes you right back to the feeling of that day.
I love those kinds of photos. And they act as these emotional triggers.
Oh, how so?
Well, because our brains connect the visual in the photo with the feeling we had at the time.
Interesting.
It's so much stronger than just looking at a regular generic picture.
Right, right.
It's kind of like how people choose a certain scent to remind them of something.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's that same idea.
I totally get that. Like a picture of a perfect sunset might be beautiful, but a photo of your totally messy kitchen after you've been baking with friends,
Aha!
that's something else. That's connected to a specific experience.
Absolutely.
And speaking of, tangible things,
Yeah.
the episode also mentions physical keepsakes.
Huh.
And I am such a sucker for those, like concert ticket stubs.
Oh, yeah, those are great.
A dried flower from like a special bouquet.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, why are these things so powerful?
Well, I think it's kind of primal,
Yeah.
We're holding something that was physically there during that meaningful moment.
Right.
It becomes an anchor, a physical link to the past, and just holding it instantly brings back those feelings.
Like a time machine in your hand.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've got all these different methods. Memory jars for a quick boost, in-depth journaling, photos that really capture the emotion, and those powerful physical keepsakes. Out of all of this, what's really sticking with you?
I think what's really fascinating is that we're essentially curating our own life stories. We're deciding which moments to highlight, which ones to preserve, and which ones to revisit. Each method is like a different tool we can use to shape how we remember and experience our past.
Wow, I love that. That's beautifully put. And it kind of leads us to a final thought for you, our listeners, to ponder. What are some of the unique ways you capture time? Maybe it's a playlist that evokes a certain era for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Playlists are powerful.
Or maybe it's a specific perfume that transports you back to a different time.
I know exactly what you mean.
Or even like a certain taste that unlocks a flood of memories.
Food is definitely a powerful trigger.
We all have our own methods, right? And that's what makes our individual stories so fascinating.
It really is.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into capturing time and preserving memories.
It's been a pleasure.
And we'll catch you next time for another deep dive.
See you then.